Yo, what's up gamers? How you doing? Today is going to be the hardest and longest video yet. I'm going to review the original trilogy, the new Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker, and also the new Star Wars game. Because guess what? I'm a gamer too. So strap in, and without further ado, let's do this. Star Wars: A New Hope is the most influential film of all time, without question. Now, I'm not saying greatest film of all time, most influential. And I already hear you through the screen saying,
Why would Star Wars be the most influential film of all time? There are so many other influential films out there. How could this film, made by a guy who probably didn't know what he was doing, with a budget of $11 million, be the most influential film of all time? Like, there are so many other films out there that could probably hold that title, like Die Hard, Alien, Ghostbusters, Home Alone, Seven Samurai, Lion King, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Jaws, and so many other films.
well, to discover why we have to go way back before Star Wars was even made. Back in December 28, 1958, when a film called Hidden Fortress was released. See, Hidden Fortress was a film made by a Japanese filmmaker called Akira Kurosawa. Star Wars is heavily inspired by Hidden Fortress, almost a direct remake. Don't believe me? Let me read you the premise for Hidden Fortress. Japanese peasants Matashiki and Taihei try and fail to make a profit from a tribal war. They find a man and woman whom they believe are simple tribe members hiding in a fortress. Although the peasants don't know that Rokurota is a general and Yuki is a princess, the peasants agree to accompany the pair to safety in return for gold. Along the way, the general must prove his expertise in battle, also hiding his identity. Now, let me read you that, but changing all the names to Star Wars names. Space peasants Luke and Han Solo try and fail to make a profit off of a star war. They find a man and woman whom they believe are simple tribe members hiding in a fortress. Although the peasants don't know that Obi-Wan is a general and Leia is a princess, the peasants agree to accompany the pair to safety in return for gold. Along the way, the Jedi must prove his expertise in battle, also hiding his identity. See what I mean? So when young George Lucas went to see this film, it sparked a fire that would later on make him a billionaire. Fast forward a few years and it is now 1977, where the first Star Wars, now renamed Star Wars: A New Hope, came out, becoming the highest grossing film of that decade. The total box office returns was around $430 million. Nowadays, that doesn't seem like a lot of money, for a film at least. But remember, this was in 1977. In today's dollars, that's the equivalent of $1.9 billion, not including merchandise. And I can already hear you saying, my point is that Hollywood executives saw the success of a film like Star Wars and started making what we like to call blockbusters. Now, for all film buffs, they know that what actually started the blockbuster was Jaws. But think about the blockbusters today, like the Marvel movies. Do they remind of Jaws or Star Wars? See, Jaws may have started the blockbuster, but Star Wars set the precedent for what a blockbuster should be like. Good versus evil, bad guys die, get the girl, the end. Not a slow build-up of suspense until shark attack. Plus, imagine what the sci-fi genre would be like without Star Wars. You would have no Alien or Ghostbusters.
But Mr. Timbits, Ghostbusters isn't sci-fi.
It was supposed to be. The writer Dan Aykroyd originally wanted Ghostbusters to be in space after seeing the success of movies like Star Wars and shows like Star Trek. This is why I have tremendous respect for this movie, as it started my favorite franchise. So let's start with the bad stuff first, because I have only compliments for this movie. My first complaint, and this is probably my biggest complaint with all the movies, is the bad writing. Now, back in the day, George Lucas was being controlled. He would write the script, and then the actual professionals hired by Fox would keep the main ideas and then adjust it so that lines like this.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
Didn't invade the movie like it did in the prequels. But there are still some lines that got through in the final product.
But I was going into Toshi Station to pick up some power converters.
But I can mostly deal with the bad writing because it's Star Wars. It's a movie about space wizards. I'm not asking for Shawshank levels of writing. Also, my second complaint is pacing. Now, before you start yelling at me and start typing on your keyboard,
I hope that you burn in the deepest hole on the hell and then Doom Guy appears in front of you. End.
But hear me out. The pacing is perfect. What? I've seen this movie over 5 times at this point, and I kinda get bored at the start. Not when Darth Vader invades the rebels, but when C-3PO and R2-D2 hang out in the desert. Really, for me, I get interested when we meet Luke. But other than that, I see no flaws. So let's get on to the good stuff. First, the characters. I am not kidding when I say that Star Wars A New Hope, Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, and Star Wars Return of the Jedi have the best cast of characters ever put on the silver screen. That ain't an exaggeration. Let's start with Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker is one of the most iconic action heroes ever, along with John McClane, Rambo, and James Bond. He is pure of heart, but is also impatient. He craves adventure, but also doesn't really know what's out there. He is a perfectly well-rounded character. Han Solo has the best character arc in all 3 movies. He starts off as a scoundrel, but eventually learns to fight for his friends. He is one of the most complicated characters in all of Star Wars. Princess Leia is awesome. She is fearless and is good at getting the job done. God bless Carrie Fisher. Obi-Wan Kenobi is the best mentor character. Sorry, Dumbledore and Gandalf, but Obi-Wan takes the cake. He is wise but also cool and is not afraid to chop off people's arms with his lightsaber. He is all I want in a mentor character. Chewbacca is just awesome. Seriously, that's all I've written down. C-3PO and R2-D2, who are just comic relief. Then there's Darth Vader, my favorite character in all of Star Wars, till the prequels ruined him. But honestly, Star Wars is mainly about those awesome characters going on a space adventure. Now, that sounds pretty cool to me. 9.5 out of 10. The second best Star Wars movie. This is my favorite Star Wars movie, and I can't find anything wrong with it. It's what all action adventure movies should be like. Stakes rising higher and higher, a good romance, our hero training, great characters, timeless effects, a twist that changes everything. 10 out of 10, the perfect Star Wars movie. Part 2 coming soon.